Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. My name is, of course, Liquid Hotshot. Hope everyone's doing okay today. We're here back for our HOI4 Millennium Dawn playthrough as Poland. This is episode 25. Things you'll love to see. The series is still doing amazingly well in the eyes of myself and you guys. So I just want to thank you all for that. This series would not be possible without you guys lending a hand in the support department. With that being said, cracking into things today, I did say in episode 23 that I was going to research like the GDPs of the world, like currently, and compare them to in-game. Now, obviously, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt, alright? Because in-game economics doesn't work the same as real-life economics. The government can't... Well, the government can, but normally these buildings would be subsidised or be done by other, like, private contractors. So, let's jump into the GDP comparisons and let the clock tick. So, Japan empowers the emperor. Well, that is a big yikes to say the least. So, I'll slow it down to 3-speed. So, the UK in 2021, so all these figures are from 2021, had a GDP of $3.131 trillion, with a GDP per capita of $46,510.28. Yeah, that's obviously in dollarunos. So if we compare that to right now in game, what is that? That's 12 years early. They are 1.5 trillion up and about 23,000 per capita up in the GDP. So they're doing well. France, IRL in 2021 was at a $2.958 trillion, just slightly behind the UK there, with a GDP per capita of $43,658.98. So again, just a few thousand behind the UK in GDP per capita. Euro bonds, we'll vote for that. Why not? Now into the big boy, Germany. Oh well, let's actually compare it to the game first. So France's GDP is higher than the UK's, which is different to IRL, and their GDP per capita is $75,500, which is also, well, that figure's just gone up. But that's also higher than France. So France in-game are doing better than the UK, or France IRL in comparison to the UK. Now, Germany. IRL in 2021, their GDP was $4.26 trillion, and their GDP per capita was $51,203.55. In-game, they're $2 trillion up on that, and their GDP is over $11,000 higher per capita. So they're doing well. Now for the all-important one, comparing our Poland to real-life Poland. Obviously, like I say, take it with a grain of salt. This is just figures I've pulled from Google, and they will have been pulled from the relevant government agencies and such. But in 2021 for Poland, the GDP was $679.4 billion, so not just over half a trillion. And the GDP per capita was sitting at 17,999.91 cents. So if we then compare that to ourselves right now, our GDP is 3 trillion. And our GDP per capita is 74,908, which in comparison to the other countries right now, we have a better standard of living. So the higher the GDP per capita is in comparison to the GDP means more people, on average, have a better quality of life. And that's the way for Poland. So we're leading the way. If we were to compare it to modern day stats for Germany, France, and the UK, GDP would be comparable to the UK and France, and the GDP per capita soars that of both. So yeah, that's just a little bit of research I decided to do after. Now, I'm going to grab the name up from YouTube now. Comments. Filter it by that. My Sleeny, who has dropped so much good information for us throughout this entire playthrough so far, and I hope he does continue. I really do like our interactions. Dropped even some more information on the latest video, which came out today, which was episode 23. The episode where I said I would compare the GDPs. Let's grab the national focus. So we're now a true European state. Lovely stuff. And don't see any reason why we shouldn't just get 150 leopards. Germany likes us, they get money, we get tanks, and then we get streamlined IFV production, which is extra production costs. So my Sleeny said, left a timestamp 2 minutes 11 in the video when we were looking at the tax costs in this bracket here. The lower the tax cost means, here it is, so due to taxes and various policies, 7% of our total economy is unavailable. So the true EU state has bumped that down from 10% to 7%, and we can use 63 for trade, and that's 63 for the economy. So thank you very much for that little tidbit. I did write that down as well, so going forward, no matter what happens with the Millennium Dawn update in the next few weeks, we'll have that information for the next save or for this save continuing. And then he also dropped a little bit of an information pipe bomb, so to speak. He said that he unsure if it's possible now, but in previous versions you could change your ideological power for 1,000 political power. So for example, if we wanted to get rid of the invisible hand for something like industrialists or 5-year plan, for example, we could do that for 1,000 political power. Now that, it seems, if we have a look here, to be a little bit impossible. They may have changed it where instead of it being like the powers are linked to the party, the powers are linked to the country of which the parties resign. So what I'm thinking there is like the Communist Party in Poland might have different ideological powers to the Communist Party in Russia. So that might be like a gameplay mechanic of how they've kind of tried to remove that. But at the end of the day, we don't know. Now my game's lagging just a little bit. There we go. But yeah, all good. So yeah, thank you again, My Sleeny. You are top notch when it comes to Millennium Dawn knowledge. You're like a Wikipedia page. You're just so good. Appreciate it. And he said in that comment as well, there is an ideological focus somewhere that allows us to build military factories in other countries or in other states. Let's have a look. Yeah. So I didn't know that our liberals gives us a minus 25% military industry output, right? So if we decide in the next election, in just shy of a year, that we want to go back like conservative or social democratic, we would get a different debuff, but then a different set of buffs as well. So the PIS isn't that popular, so it doesn't look like we're going to go Conservatives in the next election. We could also just stay as the Liberal Party. We just have this guy, Andrezi Olegoski, retire, and then someone else will just take over as like the head of the Liberal Party here in Poland. So yeah. Military is just gradually ticking away. Obviously, we want some extra guys. Can't ever really say no to that. A few mills have been produced. We're going to start producing UAVs soon. We have 11,000 anti-tank guided missiles, and we're making 4 a day. At the minute, let's cancel that because 11,000 is a lot, right? And the UK decides to stand by itself. For whatever reason. Jeremy Corbyn going ham in 2009. But yeah, don't really need 11,000. We don't need 11,000 and counting, is what I'm trying to say. In regards to that. Let's get the 1995 CAS, and then let's get a line of this 1975 CAS going, and we will put you guys under you, IFVs, CAS, and then UAVs, self-propelled anti-air, and then trucks can come down here for resource allocation. We can modify the government. Do we want to, though? That's the question of the day. Do we want to modify the government? Advanced universal healthcare, because we're amazing. We are losing money. Due to what? Ah, yes, the farming subsidies. I remember now. Let's continue just manipulating the politics in Slovakia. It's like we... Okay, well, this is new. The result of the Polish 2010 European Parliament election. This is the vote of the Polish people. The Polish political parties will send the following MEP to the European Parliament. And Spain will hold the office of the President of the European Commission for the next 5 years. Well, congratulations to you, sire. So that was somewhere down here. No, we're looking up. So that's budget. That is officers. This is European Council, European Parliament. So MEP percentage is parliamentary influence. No, MEP is MEP. What? Name. Parliamentary influence. And then member parties. Ah, so it's like if we have coalitions, etc., etc. Don't really understand European Parliament. As a person from the UK, we never... Like, obviously we have our own parliament. So it's understandable that I kind of don't understand it. Game's telling us low manpower. I'm telling the game I'm getting 250 men for free every month. So there'll be no problems. And that's not bad. Oh, we're contributing to the EU budget. Excuse me. EU budget. Did Spain just pass that or what? France is the bank. Poland. We've currently... Is this based on GDP percentage? So we invest in the EU and the EU does things, right? So we'll be investing 30 billion, which is 7.5% of the budget, which is like pretty top tier. Spain's higher than us. Italy is higher than us. Germany, France, and then the UK are all higher than us. So we're top 5 when it comes to the budget. We did as well. So we're building here down in Bosnia. Yugoslavia's doing okay. The GDP is pretty low. We still have pretty high corruption. And of course, Ukraine is making money, but they are struggling. Not making as much money as they could. If we say we want to like spread influence, we're at 12%. Can afford to do that for political power. 1.5 a day. Still making 0.95 a day, which is good because we get extra political power from the substantial safety net, the welfare policies we have. How are you guys doing? You're all battle tested, so we'll say stop doing your push-ups and your squats and your star jumps, chaps. Have some rest, I say. Have some rest. Five UAVs a year. That's cool. Still behind on guns, naturally though, because we are just producing 20 wits. Or they're 40 wits. Yeah, no, they are 20 wits. If we wanted like a bigger infantry division, we could just go ahead and change it and then swap some of the divisions over, or duplicate it, make it a 40 width. Bob's your uncle, right? UK wants to invest 1.4 billion. It'll cost me, sure. Sure thing, homie. So we'll be fine in 2 months' time. The EU budget contribution is still here. The member state, what does it say here? The member state which drafts the EU budget in the next fiscal year has to put the draft on the agenda of the European Parliament at the end of the negotiations. We get the total invested political power. Well, because we don't have much political power now that we're also trying to pump up influence over in Ukraine, let's not draft the budget. I mean, we could, but we're not the head of the bank, so France should do that. get... Where was it? Truly EU state, where's that? Ah, it doesn't have a picture, but there it is. Extra 5% construction speed as well. Research. Ooh, that was a loud sound. Free sieve factories. We're building more sieves. It's more expensive to build mills at the minute because of which focus is it? Housing project focus. So, granted, all of our infrastructure's zooming. We'll say 5 more there. 1, 1, 1, 1. Not there actually, so we don't cap it. And then mills, 3 mills. Where do we want the mills? More tanks, maybe. More CAS, maybe. We said actually, didn't we? Last episode. Getting the... There they are. I didn't actually see them in the tab. Obviously my eyes were shut. So I think then maybe if we get 2 on CAS, then by the time that's researched, it'll have some sort of production efficiency to change over. So we'll do that. Need to import, what is it? Light metals. Let's not do it from China or Russia. Let's do it relatively close. Let's trade with the UK. Make sure we're relying on Europe for all the stuff and things. And maybe we build a level 2 reactor down in Silesia. Could be worthwhile for us. Speaking of nukes, we can make a singular warhead. Oh, well, can we make 2 actually? Yeah, we can make 2 technically, because it's 60 per, right? Taking 2... 2 sieves, because you get the 1 regular for the nuclear state focus, or national spirit, I should say. Short thing. See, we give the UK a factory in trade. They offer to build more civilian industries for us. It's lovely. So that nuke's being finished then. So now that we have, if we just like not bother with that, if we go to nuclear policy, can we now change from secret nuclear program because we have a weapon? Nuclear weapons testing. First strike. Sorry, when I'm thinking, I don't speak and it becomes very odd for you, the viewer, so I do apologize for that. As the old saying goes, don't think too hard. So, if we have a look, ballistic missiles provide the state with launch sites for ICBMs. 2 in Mesovium. And then Silesia as well. Makes sense, get like coverage in east and west and south and north. All the areas. So then that would allow us to put ICBMs, these guys, in here and say you and so for me to put that on a missile, I would need... I can't have nuclear status or secret nuclear power. But I would also need nuclear triad. So it's up here. Not that. Up here, thank you. So I can't have you, and I can't have what I've already got. So I could say, nuclear triad. But to pump onto weapons testing, we need to change. Completed its successfully constructed a nuclear warhead. So that makes me think I haven't just constructed a nuclear warhead. Going around in circles, but I have one. I have a nuclear warhead. Okay, well, I'm going to write that down. Because I want to have a look on the Reddit. Stop the mouse from moving. Look at the process to build nukes on ICBMs, etc. What policies are needed to test stroke use? I just want to have a look at that more in detail. I don't want to be hogging up your guys' time just by thinking and looking at a menu. That's going to have to... I'm just looking at the time. That's going to have to be it for today's episode. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. It's always appreciated. If you've got an insightful comment maybe about the nukes there, also leave a comment and let me know. I'll be sure to get back to you and maybe even shout you out in the next video. But with that being said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.